Finally, it's here, the nerf in the Paladin's Martyr's Reconning. They remove the defense-ignoring part of the damage formula in PvP scenario. This means Paladin will now deal lesser damage against players in general. Paladins with little investments and ignore defense experience a big reduction in their Martyr's Reconning damage. I am one of those people. Prior to this adjustment, it is pretty much useless to invest and ignore defense, given that you have limited resources as a free-to-play or low spender. Before the balance adjustment, my ignore defense is only 215. I did not invest in ignore defense because it is a useless stat for Martyr's Reconning. My investment went into my defense instead. After the balance adjustment, this is now the new description of Martyr's Reckoning. They also buff ignore defense stat in general. This is the adjusted value of my ignore defense, from 215 to 708. Let's try this new Martyr's Reckoning in PvP. Shout out to my testing body, Master Enjon of the Zephyr Guild from Orc Village 10. By the way, my partner buddy Master Enjon is the top 26 swordsman in Orc Village 10. And me, somewhere down there, top 110. Now let's begin the PvP damage test. Enjon already have high ignore defense stats even before the balance adjustment. He is a dolphin, that's why he is not affected by this nerf in Martyr's Reckoning. This is now me attacking Enjon on his ghost armor with my 708 ignore defense. My damage drop is so real, it probably dropped by about 60% based on our pre-patch testings. But don't worry, I got this. I did some adjustments in my equipment, and after some time I was able to get this new stats. My ignore defense is now at 1,423 from the previous 708. With this new and improved ignore defense of mine, let's challenge Master Enjon again. Enjon is still hitting me with the same amount of damage as before. Now it's my turn to attack him. Let's see if there is an improvement in my damage from the previous test. My damage significantly increased. It's doubled. It is now at 15,000 from the previous 7,000. Master Enjon here is still wearing his ghost armor, so my damage was cut by 30%. Now, you might ask me, how did I manage to have my ignore defense at 1,423 from 708? Keep watching and I tell you how. To put it simply, we need to pump ignore defense as much as we can, but with limited resources as a free-to-play, you need to manage these resources very well. In my case, I first revisit my guild skills. Previously, this stat here, the character ignore defense was low. Now, I upgraded it at max level, and will continue to prioritize its upgrade whenever I can unlock the level requirement. Next is the statue. They added ignore defense in almost everything here, so we need to upgrade all the parts and statues that gives ignore defense. This Valkyrie rune mostly gives ignore magic defense. We can disregard this one. My priority here is the Valkyrie Wisdom, since it gives physical damage bonus and reduction, then the Valkyrie Fortitude, since it gives HP percentage, and the Valkyrie Weapon gives physical damage bonus and reduction too, but it's a bit costly. And this is the tricky part, the feathers setup. Previously, I did not invest on my attack feathers because this is near useless for Martyr's Reckoning. And my defense feathers are very well maintained in here. What I did was changing my defense feathers into attack feathers through the feather conversion to get the immediate boost in my ignore defense stat. The procedures I mentioned boosted my ignore defense from 700 points into 1,400 points, but the downside is, my defense dropped by about 200 points. Now, considering that paladins need ignore defense more than ever, what would be the best feather setup as a free-to-play? My recommendation would be, for attack feathers, Sky, Space, Day, Light and Grace. For defense feathers, Terra, Divine, Light, Dark and Virtue. This is for free-to-play and those people who could not whale in this game. This feather setup will give you a balance between your ignore defense stat and your PvP damage reduction and bonus. Also, as you can see, I am not using Night and Nature on my defense feathers. I am not using Time feathers on attack feathers too. Instead, I put Light and Dark feathers on the slot. These is because as a free-to-play, we can only purchase these feathers on a limited basis. You can buy these yellow feathers from the Diamond Shop, from the Guild Shop, from the Dimensional Shop, also from the Imperium Supply Shop. This Gallop Shop for new servers also sell this yellow feathers. My trick was to buy all the available yellow feathers in the shop I mentioned, even buying the Time, Night, and Nature feathers even if I am not using them. This is because I will convert my Night feathers into Day feathers, while my Time and Nature feathers will be converted into Space feathers. By doing this conversion method, I can level up the feathers that I am using much faster. Needless to say, you cannot use this conversion method if you are also using the Night, Nature, and Time feathers. For the Light and Dark feathers, it is mandatory to buy those in the betting shop. Also, you should use your hard-earned neon berries to buy these feathers in the neon shop. You can also consider this second setup for your attack feathers, the Sky, Space, Day, Time, and Grace. The wisdom of this feather setup is to get ignore defense as much as possible, and to upgrade the set tier and get this PvP damage bonus instead of using the light feather. This tier set stat bonuses and percentage apply only to the feather stats of this Valkyrie feather, and do not apply to your other stats. As you have probably noticed, my defense feather here looks like a malnourished kid. I have put a light and a dark feather because they are the best feathers at low level. Again, this is just a min-maxing of my limited resources. I will develop my defensive feathers next time. My priority now is my attack feathers. For the time being, my survival highly depends on my HP and with my sigils. My feather setup are PvP focus, with proper balance of PvP bonus and reduction, and with help from my sigils, I can compete with other players and characters. Well, except for whales, they are just owning. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe.